This is my $200 Japanese style futon that I've been basically sleeping on since 2019, and it is by far the most comfortable bed I've ever slept in. I made it out of a bunch of duvets that I put into a duvet cover, and then I covered myself with this beautiful queen size blanket. And I am so in love with this, even when I'm in a hotel room or an Airbnb and there's space on the floor. I sleep on the floor. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you what 8 years of sleeping on the floor have miraculously done to my body. So let's get into it. So my floor sleeping journey started back in 2018 when I met someone who introduced me to the idea of sleeping on the floor. And as you guys know, I'm super open-minded, so I tried it out for one night and I had intense back pain the next day. So I was like, not for me. Went back to sleeping on a mattress. And then in 2019, I did my yoga teacher training in India. And we had normal mattresses in the beds there in our yoga school, but they were lying on a flat wooden surface. And I think it was in week 2 of the yoga teacher training that my back literally couldn't handle the mattress anymore. It was way too like much compression to the spine. It wasn't straight. I didn't wake up with this feeling of lightness in my spine. So I couldn't help myself but remove that mattress. I moved it under the bed, and I asked for 2 more blankets to put on the wooden surface, and I slept on that wooden surface with those 2 blankets on there. And the next morning, I woke up with such a light and great feeling in my spine that I was like, this is it. I found it. And I think the yoga really helped me to actually be able to do it and not wake up with a lot of back pain because you build a lot of strength. But also, the yoga, doing it daily for 3 hours during the yoga teacher training, really drilled it in my head of like, I can't do it without it anymore. Like, I have to get on that hard surface for my back to also recover from the intense yoga sessions, but to stay in that elevated, great state. And this also brings me to the very first benefit that I've experienced from sleeping on the floor. And that is just waking up with such an energized feeling in your body and your spine generally being much more straight. So during the day, it doesn't require any effort for me to sit up with my spine straight, even while doing a lot of strength training and chin ups and push ups and all of that, which back in the days would lead to me kind of sitting like that after a training session. But now, my back is always straight. I don't remember the last time I've had any back issues. Of course, I will also mention I do yoga regularly, but the floor sleeping is definitely the most contributing factor to it. And the other benefit that I want to talk about is also the clear headedness that you wake up with in the morning. And the reason that is because you are much more able to clear your brain during the night when your spine isn't compressed from sleeping on the mattress and it's not in a straight position. So, the way we can imagine our spine is almost like a road because that's also where our nervous system runs through. And if you wanted to get from A to B, would you rather take a highway straight where you can ride as fast as you want? At least in Germany, you can ride on the highway as fast as you want. I know that's not how it is in all countries. Or would you have a little bumpy landscape road where it's just a lot of curves, a lot of bumps? Of course, that is cozy, but if you wanted to get there the most efficient and quickest way possible, you would, of course, choose the highway. That is why it is so important if you want mental clarity and generally like good brain health, good focus, to have a straight spine so that that road is actually straight, that nervous system, it can run through our brain or to our brain as efficiently and quickly as possible. So when we are sleeping on the ground, on the floor, then our spine is decompressed and it is actually in the natural shape that it is meant to be, versus when we're on a mattress, it is a little bit more curvy. So what happens to me when I now sleep on a mattress, when I'm in a hotel room or in an Airbnb or something, and there's no space on the ground, and I of course sleep on the mattress. And the next morning I wake up, I don't know, a little bit of back pain, not as mentally sharp as I wake up when I slept on the ground. And that's why I have decided as often as I can, I will sleep on the ground. I will also get into some more benefits later on in this video, but I, of course, also want to mention that this is not for everyone, and I totally acknowledge that I'm just sharing my own journey here. So if this is something that resonates with you that you would like to try out, I encourage you try it out. But if it doesn't work for you, I have some friends who it hasn't worked for. They went back to sleeping on a mattress. But I also have a bunch of friends who sleep on a futon or on the ground. And what is really, really important here is that you have a soft surface still. So I don't want to be on a hard surface that is completely uncomfortable. I still want comfort. I want softness. That's why I made my own kind of futon bed out of a bunch of very thick duvets that I stack on top of each other, put them in a duvet cover, and it is so comfortable, cozy, soft. It's just that I don't have this curviness that you get from sleeping on a softer mattress. And I've even tried hard mattresses and I still wake up with this kind of icky feeling in my spine. But yeah, there are, of course, also a ton of great mattress options. But the feeling of freedom that you get from being able to sleep anywhere, really, really good, having that intense comfort, it is priceless. Like, no matter where I am, I know if I have a thicker blanket that I can put underneath as a surface, then I will have a good night's sleep. Whether I'm sleeping at my sister's place, at my friend's place, whether I'm traveling, I'm in some Airbnb, I'm in a yoga teacher training, I know I will always get my good sleep. I will always have my premium mattress. That's not really a mattress, but yeah, I used to be so dependent on the mattresses of the places that I slept at, and not having that in the back of my mind, it is such a freeing feeling, and I'm so grateful for that. The next point I want to talk about is your digestion, because we always think digestion happens here in the kitchen, and yes, it does. But what I've actually found is that whenever I sleep in a hotel on a very soft mattress, is that my belly is not as flat the next day and my digestion doesn't feel as smooth. Versus when I sleep on the ground at home, I always wake up with like really awesome digestion, and if I haven't eaten too close to bed, like a very flat belly. Of course, this also comes down to nutrition a little bit. You know my channel, you know what I'm all about. But definitely floor sleeping is that one thing that I feel is so easy because you sleep anyway. Of course, you can achieve that as well with like a firmer mattress, but definitely removing myself from soft mattresses has helped my digestion and my belly so, so much. I do also want to mention that I still use a pillow for my floor sleeping setup, because when you're sleeping on the floor, you don't have any softness around your shoulder. So, of course, I have a soft cushioning bed, but it's not the same as when you have a mattress. So, I like to have the pillow to have the head a little bit elevated, and then my shoulder is perfectly fine because I am a side sleeper. I don't like sleeping on my back. I like to sleep either on my side or on my belly. And last of all, I also want to talk about the last benefit for today, and that is your fascia. It is being massaged while you're sleeping on a firmer surface. Again, this is something you can achieve with a firmer mattress, but when you sleep on a futon bed, you are compressing every tissue of your body that you're lying on. Of course, you don't want it to be compressed so much that it becomes uncomfortable, but a slight gentle compression is really, really helpful to detoxify your body during the night and help that cleansing process. And last of all, I want to also say that for me, it took a little bit of time to adjust, and I had the help of the yoga teacher training while I was transitioning from sleeping on the floor. So the general rule of thumb is to give yourself 1 to 2 weeks to adjust your spine, to build up the muscles in your back to be able to do it. And if after 1 or 2 weeks you still don't like it, then of course there's no point in doing it. You want to do it to make your life better, not to make it harder on yourself. For me, it made my life better, and I think there are different body types. For some people it works, for some people it doesn't. But definitely, if you try it out, give yourself at least 7 days to see if your back and your body, your spine is able to adjust to it and likes it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to hear about my bra and underwear free journey, you can also watch this video here. And if you want to see what I eat on a daily basis to also help my digestion, then you can check out my What I Eat in a Day playlist here. I hope you have an awesome day and maybe see you in my next video. Bye bye.